What's up guys, back with another disassembly, and today we're going to take apart the LG V40. First thing you have to do, remove the SIM tray, which is on the side. Alright, next you're going to heat up the back of the phone so you can loosen up the adhesive. Once you do that, you can use a pry tool. I prefer to use a guitar pick or anything else plastic so you don't damage the frame of the phone. And you're going to work your way around the edges of the phone and pry the back off. If you need, you can always use like a sharp thin razor or something just to get yourself in on one of the corners, and just put your pry tool in, and then you're just going to eventually work your way around. Alright, once you're ready, you could just lift up the back cover. Use your contact over here for the fingerprint scanner, which is on this side. And that makes a connection over here, just touches the contacts on the main board. Okay, so next you have 14 Phillips screws you're going to have to remove throughout the phone. Go ahead and work your way around. Okay, once you got your screws out, also I just want to note, for anyone who has any reception issues, any Wi-Fi issues, any signal issues, anything like that, these pieces are the ones I'll look at with all these antenna lines running through it. So just make sure if you've ever taken the phone apart and you put it back together, these pieces, make sure when you screw them in properly so they make a good connection with the board. Alright, so next we're going to remove the top and bottom plastic covers. Here's your wireless charging pad. This is the connection for your flash. Here's your speaker assembly over here. Okay, next you're going to disconnect the cable for your battery over here. Just pop it up. Then disconnect the cable for your screen. And you got one white cable over here on the bottom. Next, disconnect your front-facing cameras on top. Go ahead and remove them. Alright, now you're going to lift up your board from the top. And be careful because you have this charger port cable attached underneath the board. Go underneath the cable so you can lift the cable up with the board. It has adhesive underneath it, so you're going to have to pry it up. As you can see, it connects down here. Go ahead and disconnect that. Here's your main board. So over here on the board, on the back, is where the processor would be, I'm assuming, since there's a heat transfer pipe that touches over here with the thermal paste. I'll show you on the frame right here. Here's the thermal paste, and there's the heat transfer pipe. So if you want to remove the cameras, all you would have to do, disconnect the cables over here. There's two of them. These two are on one cable and that one's on a separate cable. Just pop the connector up, and then just pull up. Just pop it out right there. Same thing with the other one. So at this point you're left with the earpiece on top over here, your vibrator motor here, your battery, and you got your charger port flex here with the headphone jack that's attached to that flex. Go ahead and unscrew the Phillips screw over here for your headphone jack. Next, we're gonna lift up the microphone over here. Alright, next you're gonna disconnect the cable for the headphone jack here. Then we're gonna pry the flex for the charger port up away from the frame. Get this in focus. And now we're gonna remove the headphone jack. Just get underneath it and pull up. Alright, so at this point you're left with just the battery, your vibrator motor, your earpiece over here on top, and you also have your power switch over here and your volume cables over there. In order to remove those, you just have to pry up this plastic piece over here and lift up this cable over here that's held on with adhesive. Same thing on the other side, there's a cable over here with adhesive, and there's a plastic piece covering the power switch. If you want to remove the battery, you just have to pry the battery up and you remove it from the frame. And for the screen, you'd have to just basically heat up the front of the phone a little bit and the back. Then you have to pry the screen away from the mid frame, and the cable will just slide through the frame over here in the opening. And then you'd apply some new adhesive, attach your new screen, and make sure you have your cable going through the mid frame, and then just reassemble your phone at that point. So now we're going to go ahead and put the phone back together. Put in our headphone jack. Pop it in. We'll put our charger port flex. We'll put it back in. Now we'll connect the cable for the headphone jack back to that flex. And then go ahead and put the screw back in for the headphone jack. Alright, next you're going to take your main board. You're going to attach your cameras back on. Pop it in place. You're going to connect it to the main board. Alright, next we're going to connect the charger port flex back to the back side of the board. Connects over here on the bottom. Alright, once you got that connected, just make sure this white wire doesn't get stuck underneath it. Also your screen cable over the side. And your battery cable. Make sure those cables don't get stuck underneath. Just drop your board back in its place. Next, go ahead and connect your cables again. We'll put our screen cable back in. Then we're going to attach this white cable down here again. Alright, once you got that white cable back in, we're going to put in the front facing cameras. Slide those in, connect them on the main board. Now you can attach the battery cable. Alright, once that's connected, we're going to put our plastic covers back over. Pop them back in. Put your bottom one back in as well. Now go ahead and screw all the Phillips screws back in. Alright, now you're going to put the back cover back over. And if you need to apply new adhesive, go ahead and do that. If not, just put your back cover back on. Next, put in your SIM tray. Turn your phone around, power it back on, and you're ready to go.